Have you ever stopped to wonder why certain people seem to avoid being around you? Okay, that might sound a little harsh, but let's be honest. We all have habits that secretly annoy others, whether we realize it or not. I'll admit, I've been guilty of my fair share. Today, I'm spilling the beans on the habits that make people lose respect for you. Yep, you heard me. And yes, I've fallen into these traps myself. If you're brave enough to stick around, we're diving into this head-on. It's going to be raw, honest, and maybe a bit controversial. Ready to find out if you're unintentionally making things worse? Let's go. Gossiping, the silent killer of respect. Let's face it, gossiping feels good in the moment, doesn't it? Sharing a juicy secret or being the first to spill the tea makes us feel important, like we hold the keys to some exclusive club of information. It's human nature to crave connection, and gossip can sometimes feel like the easiest way to bond with others. But here's the catch. What feels like harmless chatter to you is often perceived as a red flag to those around you. Think about it. The moment you start sharing someone else's secrets, what's running through the listener's mind? If they're talking like this about someone else, what do they say about me when I'm not around? Gossip doesn't just spread information, it spreads distrust. And distrust, once seated, is incredibly hard to erase. I learned this lesson the hard way. There was a time when I thought gossiping made me likable, someone who was in the know. I thought it made me seem approachable and fun, someone others could confide in. But instead, it had the opposite effect. I started noticing a shift in my relationships. People began keeping their distance, not physically, but emotionally. Conversations became shallow. Friends hesitated before sharing anything meaningful with me, and soon, I became the person who knew everything about everyone, but had no one truly close to me. The truth about gossip is that it doesn't just harm your relationships, it poisons your own peace of mind. When you gossip, you're subtly focusing on others' flaws, mistakes, and vulnerabilities. It's a distraction tactic, a way to avoid confronting your own insecurities and shortcomings. And over time, it creates a mental habit of negativity. Instead of building people up, you're tearing them down. And here's the kicker. By doing so, you're bringing yourself down too. The ancient Stoics had a profound teaching about this. They believed that our words should pass through 3 gates before being spoken. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Gossip fails all 3 tests. Most gossip is exaggerated, unnecessary, and often unkind. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote in his Meditations, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Gossiping, in its essence, is the opposite of being a good, virtuous person. So how do you stop? It's not easy, especially when gossip has become a habit. But here's what worked for me. I started by questioning my intentions. Why did I feel the need to share this piece of information? Was it to help someone, or was it to feel superior? 9 times out of 10, it was the latter. Once I acknowledged that, I made a conscious effort to shift my focus. The next time someone tries to pull you into a gossip session, try saying, "You know, I'd rather not talk about this. Let's focus on something positive." It might feel awkward at first, but watch how quickly people start to respect you for it. More importantly, you'll notice a shift in your own mindset. Instead of carrying the weight of negativity, you'll feel lighter, freer, and more focused on what truly matters. In a world where gossip is the norm, choosing not to engage makes you stand out. It shows strength, self-control, and integrity, qualities that command respect. Remember, the words you speak are a reflection of the person you are. Let your words build bridges, not walls. Taking responsibility, unlocking the power to transform your life. Let's dive deep into one of life's most uncomfortable yet transformative truths, the power of taking responsibility. Picture this. I was once the reigning champion of excuses. Forgot my homework. Oh, I didn't know it was due today. Missed an appointment. Traffic was terrible. My life was a parade of justifications, But then one day, a teacher pulled me aside and said something that hit me like a freight train. Every excuse you make is stealing an opportunity for you to grow. You can't improve if you never own up to your mistakes. That one line stuck with me. At first, it stung, but soon I realized the truth behind it. Excuses are like a warm blanket on a cold day. They feel safe and comforting, shielding us from the bitter chill of criticism and failure. But here's the flip side. They also suffocate our potential. Excuses trap us in mediocrity, making us believe we're powerless. If everything is always someone else's fault, your teacher, your boss, the weather, the universe, how will you ever take the reins of your own life? Excuses, a false sense of protection. Excuses feel like armor, but in reality, they're chains. They stop us from confronting the uncomfortable truth that we could have done better. And let's be honest, facing that truth can be hard. It requires courage, humility, and a willingness to admit that you've fallen short. But here's the twist. Accepting responsibility doesn't make you weak. It makes you powerful. Think of the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, who emphasized that true freedom comes from within. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This means you can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. And taking responsibility is the ultimate act of control. The moment I stopped running, I remember the first time I truly owned a mistake. I had missed an important deadline at work, and my gut reaction was to whip out my usual excuse playlist. I had too many meetings, or someone didn't send me the information I needed. But then I stopped and thought, what am I doing? Instead, I admitted I didn't manage my time well. That's on me. And you know what happened? Nothing catastrophic. My boss didn't explode or fire me. In fact, they respected me more for owning up and taking accountability. It was a revelation. People don't expect perfection. They expect honesty and effort. Taking responsibility isn't just about earning respect from others. It's about building self-respect. When you own your actions, you stop living in fear of being found out because there's nothing left to hide. You've already faced the truth head-on. Why responsibility feels so hard. Here's why taking responsibility feels like swallowing a bitter pill. It forces us to confront our imperfections. Nobody likes admitting they've dropped the ball. It's uncomfortable, and let's be real, humbling. But think about it. Is it better to momentarily feel awkward or to live in a constant state of denial, weighed down by the mental gymnastics of maintaining excuses? When you avoid responsibility, you rob yourself of the chance to learn, grow, and improve. Every mistake you make is a lesson waiting to happen. But when you brush it off with an excuse, you miss that opportunity entirely. It's like planting seeds but refusing to water them. Don't expect any growth. Owning mistakes. The path to personal freedom. The Stoics believe that the foundation of a virtuous life is accepting what's within your control and letting go of what isn't. When you take responsibility, you're embracing this principle. You're saying, "This is my life, and I am in charge of how I respond to challenges." Responsibility isn't a weight on your shoulders. It's the key to freedom. When you own your mistakes, you regain the power to fix them. You can analyze what went wrong, adjust your approach, and move forward stronger than before. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. The ripple effect of responsibility. Here's the incredible thing. When you stop making excuses, the world around you starts to shift. People notice. They trust you more. They respect your honesty and see you as someone dependable. And it's not just about external validation. Your own confidence grows, too. Imagine walking into a room knowing you're not hiding anything. No mental gymnastics. No anxiety over whether your excuses will hold up under scrutiny. You're free. Free to face challenges head-on. Free to take risks without fear of failure. And free to grow into the best version of yourself. Responsibility. your superpower. Let me leave you with this. Taking responsibility is one of the most empowering things you can do. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a superpower. It shows you're brave enough to confront your flaws and wise enough to learn from them. So, the next time you're tempted to blame someone or something else for a mistake, pause. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? Own the situation, no matter how uncomfortable it feels. Trust me, the discomfort is temporary, but the growth is permanent. In the end, taking responsibility isn't about avoiding failure. It's about embracing it as a stepping stone to success. And who wouldn't want that? Your future self will thank you for every single moment you chose ownership over excuses. The antidote to complaining. Complaining, it's the easy way out, right? It doesn't take much effort to grumble about the slow Wi-Fi, the unpredictable weather, or that annoying traffic. But here's the thing. Complaining solves absolutely nothing. Worse, it becomes a habit that chips away at your peace of mind and drags down everyone around you. So, what's the alternative? The answer lies in training yourself to focus on what's good. The more you practice this, the less you'll feel the urge to complain. And here's the beautiful part. Positivity is contagious. When you become someone who lifts others up, you naturally start attracting people who want to be in your orbit. It's a powerful shift, from being a drain on energy to being a source of inspiration. If you catch yourself griping about everything, from trivial matters like a bitter cup of coffee to life's bigger frustrations, take a moment. Pause and ask yourself, am I trying to solve the problem, or am I just stuck in a cycle of whining? Let's be real. Constant complaining doesn't make you more relatable. It doesn't make you feel better either. In fact, it often alienates the very people you'd want to connect with. Here's the challenge. The next time you feel a complaint coming on, flip the script. Instead of giving in to negativity, look for something to be grateful for. Maybe the Wi-Fi's slow, but hey, at least you're connected. Maybe the weather's not ideal, but it's a reminder to appreciate your cozy indoor space. These small mental shifts can make a massive difference. And trust me, the people around you will notice. Gratitude has a way of brightening your mood and transforming how others see you. It's like a ripple effect. Your positivity inspires others to look for the good in their lives too. Complaining might feel like an easy escape, but choosing gratitude, that's the real power move. It shows strength, resilience, and a determination to rise above the noise, breaking the habit of being chronically late. Let's talk about another habit that's all too common, being late. We all know someone who's perpetually behind schedule. Maybe it's you. The classic "I'm just 5 minutes away" that somehow turns into 20. Or the "I'm on my way" text sent while you're still lounging at home. Sound familiar? I've been there. I used to think of my tardiness as a quirky rebellion against the clock, a sort of charm, even. But the truth? It wasn't charming. It wasn't stylish. It was just disrespectful. One day, a close friend called me out. She said, "You know, being late isn't just about showing up late. It's about showing me that you don't value my time." That hit hard. I realized my chronic lateness wasn't just an inconvenience. It was a signal that I wasn't respecting the people around me. Being late isn't just a harmless quirk. It sends a clear message. My time is more important than yours. Whether it's a job interview, a dinner with friends, or even a casual meeting, repeated tardiness chips away at how people perceive you. Over time, it paints a picture of someone who's unreliable and disorganized. And that's not a reputation you want. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Lateness often masks deeper issues. For some, it's a lack of respect. For others, it's a way to avoid commitment or confrontation. Sometimes, being late is a subconscious way of expressing reluctance or anxiety about showing up. But whatever the reason, it ultimately damages relationships and trust. I had to face this myself. I wasn't just bad at managing my time. I was using lateness as an excuse to avoid being fully present. Once I admitted this, I started taking steps to change. I set alarms, planned ahead, and even made it a point to arrive early. The transformation was incredible, not just in how others saw me, but in how I saw myself. If you are chronically late, it's time to take action. Start small, set your clocks a few minutes ahead, prepare the night before, and leave earlier than you think you need to. These simple steps can work wonders. And the best part, you'll stop being the person who's always catching up and start being someone people can count on. The trap of playing the victim. Now, let's tackle a habit that's both common and deeply toxic: playing the victim. We've all met someone who seems to have a never-ending list of grievances, everything that goes wrong in their life. It's always someone else's fault. I used to be guilty of this. If I missed a promotion at work, I'd blame my boss. If a relationship failed, I'd convince myself I was cursed. It was always me against the universe. But then, a friend gave me a reality check. She said, "You always see yourself as the victim, but have you ever thought about how much you're contributing to these situations?" That stung, but it was the wake-up call I needed. Playing the victim often feels comforting in the moment. It lets you avoid accountability and shift the blame elsewhere. But in the long run, it stunts your growth. It keeps you stuck in a loop of negativity, where nothing ever changes because you refuse to take responsibility. Here's the truth: life throws curveballs at everyone. It's not about what happens to you, it's about how you respond. Shifting from a victim mindset to a growth mindset isn't easy, but it's transformative. It means asking hard questions like, what role did I play in this situation? And what can I learn from this experience? When you stop playing the victim, you regain control over your life. You stop waiting for others to fix things and start taking action. And here's the best part: people respect you more. Nobody wants to be around someone who constantly blames others, but everyone admires someone who faces challenges head-on. If you've been stuck in a victim mentality, it's time to make a change. Start by owning your actions, even when it's uncomfortable. Shift your focus from problems to solutions. Over time, you'll notice that your outlook and your relationships start to improve. And trust me, breaking free from the victim mindset is one of the most empowering things you'll ever do. When complaining becomes a habit, it's like wrapping yourself in a cloak of perpetual doom. You start believing that everything is happening to you, not for you. It drains the energy of everyone around you and limits your growth. When you're focused on blaming others, you're not looking for solutions or ways to learn from the situation. Here's a hard truth: sometimes, playing the victim is easier than facing the uncomfortable truths about ourselves. It's a way of avoiding responsibility. Pointing fingers and saying, "It's not my fault," feels a lot better than reflecting and asking, "What could I have done differently?" But let's be honest, that's not empowering. It's disempowering. I learned this the hard way. There was a time when I blamed everyone else for my career setbacks. But when I started taking ownership of my actions and decisions, things began to shift. I stopped seeing myself as a victim and started being an active participant in my own life. It felt freeing. Instead of waiting for things to improve on their own, I took charge, set goals, and actively worked toward them. Playing the victim is like being stuck in a hamster wheel. You keep running, but you're not really going anywhere. When you stop playing the victim and start taking responsibility, you break free from that cycle. Life's challenges won't disappear, but you'll be better equipped to face them. It's all about shifting from helplessness to empowerment. So, the next time you find yourself slipping into that victim mindset, try this. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I do about this?" Empower yourself to become the hero of your own story. It's far more rewarding than staying stuck in the victim role. And if you ever need a reminder, just come back and rewatch this video. No victim mentality here, just some tough love. All right, that's a wrap. We've covered some of the worst habits that can cause people to lose respect for you. Whether it's gossiping, being passive-aggressive, avoiding responsibility, neglecting hygiene, or complaining about everything. If you recognize yourself in any of these, don't worry. The good news is, these are habits we can all change. Life is too short to stay stuck in patterns that don't serve us or those around us. Now, I'm not saying you need to be perfect. Far from it. But a little self-awareness goes a long way, and even the smallest changes can make a big impact on your relationships, confidence, and how you show up in the world. Plus, let's face it, no one's ever complained about being around someone who's honest, accountable, and smells good, right? Here's your challenge. Think about one habit you can change this week. Maybe it's owning up to a mistake. Maybe it's keeping your negativity in check. Or maybe it's just taking a quick shower. Start small, and you'll be amazed at how much better things get. Thanks for sticking with me through this. If you've had a laugh, gained some insight, or even had a cringy moment of self-reflection, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need a little nudge. We're all in this together. No one's perfect, but we can all be better. And remember, next time you feel like gossiping or complaining, just ask yourself, what would I say about me? That's usually a good place to start. Catch you next time.